Hey, I'll welcome in Buffs Nation to another edition of S2S Colorado Live. I'm your host, Manny. Please make sure to follow me on X at Manny_303 and Instagram at 303_Manny. Also, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or whatever streaming platform there is that you use for your podcast. Any contributions to the show would be much appreciated. Venmo is at MannyS2S. And also, if you running an offer right now through Rebet, click on the link in the chat that I just posted, or you can use the code when signing up, VOCFBCU. You will get 100% purchase match up to $100. And also, just to add in there, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that's 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so slow week, week, I guess. So not a ton going on, but we're going to go over Ralphie Report, news and notes, couple things did come up. Some recruiting, seems kind of quiet on that front. And then remaining schedule prediction. And last, I would like to, that we talked about on Monday, is going through the Big 12 slate for the week and picking games. So let's jump right into it. So Ralphie Report. So the Field Storm, that has been the fine of $50,000 has been retracted from the Big 12. The Big 12, so this is from On3 Rivals. It's at the Big 12 informed Colorado on Tuesday that it executed its Field Storm management procedures, and Colorado will not receive a fine for fans rushing the field after Saturday's 24-17 win against number 22 Iowa State. So that $50,000 fine again was it's kind of dumb in the first place, but it was retracted, so Colorado's not fined anymore. So cool stuff there. Also, this past weekend, we go through this. I like to do this on Mondays, just didn't get to it, but the most watched games this past weekend, Colorado always is in the top 10 every week, but Colorado versus Iowa State came in at number 9 with 1.4 million viewers. I believe number 1 was the Red River rivalry with Texas and Oklahoma. Not much of a game, but again, that came in at number 1. Western part, so overall, it's just the western part, I guess, overall in the western part of the country, Colorado ranks number 2, and that is only behind Oregon. Colorado total has 16.67 million viewers. Again, this is what we talked about, Prime Effect. It is real. It is here to stay. Man, that's crazy to think that where the Buffs are at, where they were and where they're at right now. So really cool, good incentive to use for recruiting, right? This is becoming one of the major programs on the, as far as media goes, viewership goes on the western part of the country. So kudos to Colorado. Continue. Those numbers are still pushing. Minus the Shador, minus the Travis Hunter. Man, they're still must-see TV. And again, their games are entertaining as, all can be. So just great stuff. Great stuff from Colorado. Oh, Neo's in here. What's up, Neo? How you doing today? Thanks for joining. Another cool thing that took place, Coach Prime. So Dion, he gave players an opportunity to put to get some film on themselves for the portal. Something that it seems like never's been done. It's almost like a scrimmage that he had, to get these players on film. What he said was, this is what he told the team. I'm not crazy enough to think that all of you are going to be in this room next year. Some of you some of you going to jump in the portal. This is the opportunity for you to get some portal film. So, kudos again to Dion, man. I mean, this is one of the reasons to go to Colorado as well, right? If it doesn't work out, he's not going to try to hold you there. That, he, ultimately wants what's best for each and every one of these kids that play there. And again, actions speak louder than words. Here's an example of that happening with Coach Prime. So kudos to him. This is something that more teams will probably start doing, right? It feels like Colorado does these things. Everybody else goes around and then copies it. But, I mean, this is fantastic for Colorado. It's fantastic for the players. And, again, those guys that don't get a play on Saturdays, Friday, Saturdays, or whenever it is during the games, they get their opportunity just to get some film out there and try to, make a little bit of money with this. So So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Recruiting. So not a ton here, but Jamarcia Plater. So the running back that we talked about, he's from Louisiana. He is currently committed to Wake Forest. He said of Colorado. Colorado's definitely become a big factor in my recruitment, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything in person soon. Again, this was to Rivals. He also said, they say I have high potential playing as a freshman, and I'm all about getting on the field and showcasing my talent. So if you watch some film of him, dude is just a straight playmaker out there. So it's Captain something. I can't remember the name of the. But anyway, just a fantastic player. If you have not seen him play, look up some YouTube highlights or even just, on Huddle or whatever it is. But he is a one hell of a player. So that would be a big get right now. Again, Kavian Bryant, number one quarterback in the 27 class. His decision's coming up on November 1st. The Buffs offered his little brother, Caden Bryant, who is a class of 29. So, trying to land both brothers, I think that's cool, right? I mean, we know the Buffs have been doing that, keeping the siblings together. So, yeah. So here's where we're at. But what Rival said, though, is my prediction is, and again, this is just what Rival said. This is not mine. So it's just that Rival's prediction has been locked on the Red Raiders here. Both the Seminoles and Buffs have been fierce contenders. Texas was positioned very for portions of this stretch too. I love where Texas Tech has been positioned since last month, and especially down the stretch. So again, he's probably looking at a bag there, huge bag at that point, right? Texas Tech again, and that's what they're doing, right? They got that Matador club there, and Tex, man, they're out there, they're paying, they're trying to win, and again, can't blame them one bit. I wish the Buffs had that kind of money to be able to do those kind of things, but again, it is what it is. Neo said, I definitely think the portal and NIL deals made the field a bit more even. No more Alabama winning all the time. No, absolutely. This is something that when you hear this conversation, right? Like, oh, well, the portal's this or that. I think it's a good thing, right? You get Alabama, Georgia. They don't get to hoard that talent anymore, right? Like these kids don't. Basically, when they used to transfer, right, they'd have to sit out a year. And now they're not able to do that. Like these players have to play and they have to play young. So, I absolutely love the portal. I think what it has done has been fantastic. Whether I like them moving to a, just one transfer portal every year, I don't know how I feel about that. That is, I don't know. I guess I don't like it just because some of these players need to see where they stand after spring ball. And again, they have that one opportunity right after the season, depending on how they may feel. So it is, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it, but again, it's not a perfect system, and they'll probably go back to 2 portals or 3 portals or whatever it may be. This thing is so far from over right now. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the portal and NIL as well. So, the recent visits that were here, Thaddeus Thatcher, so 2027 3-star quarterback. He attended the Colorado game last weekend. He is the teammate of Damani Warren, that is the 4-star wide receiver the Buffs hosted. What Ralph was saying, despite the visit, it would be surprising if Thatcher flips his commitment from Utah, where he committed to in March, or pledged to in March. Family ties strengthen his Utah commitment. His brother Christian Thatcher is already a member of the Utah football team. Personal highlight of the Colorado trip, what he said, was the opportunity to spend time at his grandfather's ranch, adding a familial and sentimental element to the visit. So get another quarterback. You never can have enough of those on the roster. Most important position. So you got to keep going and going and going until you hit. So Kai Meza, that we talked about, a recruit from Draper, Utah. He attended the game last weekend. He was previously committed to Minnesota. Meza has now narrowed his top choices to Colorado and Cal, with the Buffaloes and Golden Bears emerging as the front runners. Meza is expected to visit Berkeley soon, indicating Cal's strong position in his recruitment process. While Colorado and Cal are making the most significant impact, other programs are still involved in his recruitment, keeping the competition open. So, I thought we'd hear a lot more recruiting stuff this week. A lot more would come out there. Not a ton out there, though, which is, I guess it's okay, right? Calm, cool week. There was not a lot there. And quite frankly, maybe this is what Colorado needed to reset, get back in their groove, do what they needed to do to prep for this final stretch of the season. Again, they do have a bye week. They play 2 games and then they get another bye week. So I think, a good little break, step away from it for a minute. Even, it seems like the recruiting, again, seems like it hasn't. I'm sure, the Coach Phillips, Coach Box, those guys, they're still working their tails off, the whole coaching staff to get players in. But I think it's pretty cool where they're at right now. Not a ton of stuff coming out, but the recruiting is we'll see if they can continue landing these guys again. More and more fallout from Penn State now. Just continuing seeing where these kids commit, seeing if Colorado can swoop in and grab some of those kids and get them recruited and get them into Boulder and, make the most of it. So remaining schedule predictions. So this is, this is a tough one, because we're all kind of coming off a high with the Buffs winning this past Saturday. Now it is right. We don't want to get too high, too low. I mean, they did beat a good team, but I'm just kind of curious as to where everybody else feels right now. But yeah, this is a tough. They have 4 games left, right? 5 games left. My fault. And there's a lot of different ways this can go. Bye week this week again, get that much needed rest. Hopefully they come out ready to go. They have 2 weeks to prep for Utah. So let's start there. October 25th at Utah, 8:15 kickoff game. So one of those late night kickoffs. So this is the 3rd one that Colorado has played this year. There's got to be some kind of record over these past 2 years, how many they played. They probably should put a cap on it at some point about how many late kickoffs you can have. Because again, it just seems like Colorado is constantly playing in them. So, but at Utah now, Devin Dampier, Colorado struggles with these running quarterbacks. Utah looks good. I don't know where I want to go with this. Still trying to, part of you is, okay, so Colorado outside of 1 game has not got beaten, that poorly. So it was just the Houston game. I expect for it to be a close game. The hope is that Colorado comes out, shocks the world a little bit. But I had that originally as a loss. I still don't think the Buffs go to Utah, to Salt Lake, and win. So I would say loss by 3 to 4 points somewhere, 3 to 7 points, somewhere in between there. I just don't think the Buffs, that's just a tough place to play. They'd have to be able to run the ball, keep it on the ground, force a couple turnovers, and stop Devin Dampier, which the Buffs have struggled with running quarterbacks over these last few years. So again, I just think that's a tall task for Colorado. But I do think they're going to play them tough and give Utah everything they can handle. So then Arizona, the following weekend, November 1st, Arizona, they'll come to Boulder, play at Folsom. Arizona is looking good. So they are standing at, where did I see them at? They are, I missed them. I had to have. So they are in the Big 12, 1-2, but overall 4-2. Now, I do think the Buffs win this. Let's give, I would say, like a 31-21 victory at Folsom against Arizona. I think, I think that would be manageable, right? I think that's doable, absolutely doable. And then that brings them to, what would that be? So that's 3-5, 3-6, 4-6, I think at that point. Yeah, 4-6 at that point, if I did that correctly. So Colorado, yeah, they would be 4-5. 4-5, my fault. Yeah, 4-5 at that point, heading into West Virginia. Arizona is surprisingly doing good. Got me scared at Humble Tech. Says, yeah, I'm with that too. They look good. I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? How like last year with Teterow, McMillan, with T-Mac, this happened. They had Tacario Davis, the big, long, rangy corner. He left, and I mean, they look good though. Arizona looks really good. So, but I do think the Buffs beat them at Folsom. It's 3 games, then a bye. So this puts them at 500, 5-5, heading into the last So we got at West Virginia, so 3 games, and then they head into the bye. So 5-5 heading into West Virginia. I think they beat West Virginia as well. West Virginia is 0-3 in the Big 12, 2-4 record overall. They are not a very good football team right now. I do fully expect, though, Rich Rod, he's going to get that turned around. I mean, the teams they beat are Robert Morris. They lost at Ohio and beat Pittsburgh. So those are the teams they lost to. Kansas put it on them 41-10. Utah put it on them 48-14, and they went to BYU, which BYU beat them 38-24. It's kind of back and forth there for a minute, but watching the game, you knew that you knew BYU was going to come out on top there. So so that's where we're at on. I think they do that. They go into another bye week. So this will be their second and last bye week, and then they get Arizona State. So this is November 22nd, last home game of the season, right? This is going to be a tough one. I mean, I know Sam Leavitt is out. I don't know how long he's out for. I don't know if he's playing tomorrow either. My hope is that he does play tomorrow because it's, I believe they got Tech tomorrow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure is that Tech tomorrow? I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure they got Tech tomorrow. So, yeah, now I got to check. I'm pretty sure it's Tech though. So, because I saw that, I was like, that's a big one. Yeah, Texas Tech at Arizona State. So again, I don't know if Sam Leavitt's playing tomorrow. If he's not, I don't know how long he's out for, but I would expect him back, by the CU game. So Arizona, ASU at Folsom. Part of me thinks that Colorado wins this one. So I know, call me crazy. I don't know, the magic is worn off at Arizona State. It seems like Colorado now is starting to catch a groove, right? And again, they beat a good team last week. They just need to continue doing what they do, run the football, let Caden Salter be Caden Salter. But I do think Colorado beats Arizona State, a close game, down to the wire. But I do think so. I got 6, so that would put them at 6-5 heading into the last game of the season. That now makes them bowl eligible. Yeah. And yeah, Neo says, I hope the bye week will not ruin their momentum. Yeah, that's hopefully. But I do think this bye week came a little bit later this year, and I do think it is much needed. They need to get some guys healthy. And again, I don't know what is going on with RJ Johnson, but they get him back, ready to roll there. And, Carter Stoutmeyer, starting safety back. I think this team might be, and some of that D tackle depth, this team will be set up pretty well for this final stretch of the season. So I like the bye week. I think it came at a good time. Get some of these dudes healthy. Again, I don't know what's going on with Simeon Price and DeKalen Taylor as well. Hopefully they can get those guys back as well, because those two bring DeKalen Taylor brings a whole different element to the offense, that speed, explosiveness. But yeah, that is my hope for this bye week. So I think it came at the right time. I know that the bye weeks feel, sometimes you're like, man, hopefully all momentum's not lost. Colorado, and again, someone said this, was it Michael Irvin? Someone said that Colorado is not this, the record does not indicate who they are. Outside of one game, they've been in every single game. They've had leads in almost every single game that they've played. I believe in every game they've lost, they've had a lead. Yeah, they've had a double-digit lead in every single game that they lost, minus the Houston game. So they've been there. They've been close, just not executing. Last week they executed. So down the stretch, they executed. So you never know. Let's see what happens, though. And then last game at Kansas State. That is Kansas State they're tricky. They're a tricky team this year. They are, I don't even know the right word for them, but they're a weird team. Just a really weird team this year. They're on and off. It is crazy though, because they have so much talent, and right, because they beat TCU last week, and it's where did that come out of, right? Avery Johnson is good. I think Avery Johnson is a good quarterback. Talent's there. Dylan Edwards is back, playing good, running hard. So it is hard. It is hard. G says, hard to predict remaining schedule with so many Big 12 teams having injuries. Comes down to which players are actually playing for their team when CU plays them. Yeah, it really is. And then which week do you catch them on, right? Like, which week do you catch Colorado on, right? Or which week do you catch Kansas State on? It's just, And I think that's what's great about about college football, right? And football in general, right? Like any given Sunday, any given Saturday, right? It's anyone can win. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but yeah, like you said, it does depend. It just depends on which team shows up for Colorado, because again, when they step filled, basically the rest of the season, regardless where they're at, they will overall top to bottom have the more talented roster. So again, it's just putting those things together though. Neo says if Colorado play like last week for the rest of the season, they can sweep the rest of the season. Yeah, I think so. Outside of there was a couple mishaps. I can't remember now. I went over them on Monday. It feels like that Iowa State game was like 3 weeks ago. For some odd reason, it feels like that. But I don't. There was a couple plays where I was just like, oh, that aggressiveness, they have to get better with aggressiveness and can't miss easy throws. But I did like they forced a turnover, did not turn the ball over. So that's a recipe for winning football. So Neo, I'm with you. They play like this the rest of the season. I feel like they can run the table here. The toughest game left, in my opinion, is at Utah, though. So, and then Chad says, I've heard Manhattan is a hard place to play, and why is that? It's all they got there, right? Kansas State, they've, outside of that, in the state of Kansas, that's the premier football program, right? Like, even wherever you want to consider Kansas, the Chiefs, right? They play in Missouri, but they've always been good, right? Kansas State, Kansas, the Jayhawks, that's a basketball powerhouse. It's not a football school. And Kansas State, right? They've, typically been the best football team there is in Kansas. So it's that. And then they just have Kansas State has a pretty good tradition of football. So, I kind of want to go to that game, but I don't know if I want to go to Manhattan, Kansas. But, I think it's about a 7-hour drive from here. It's not too far from the Denver area. So, but yeah, it is a tough place to play though. The fans are tough, but this is going to be the game after Thanksgiving. So, don't know what that looks like. I know in Boulder, all the students are gone. Not a lot of people making it out to the game. So we'll see what that looks like. But I think the Buffs go into Kansas, into Manhattan and win, ultimately putting them at 7-5 on the year. And I guess that would put them after this bye week, right? They would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1 the remainder of the way. And again, maybe that's optimistic. Maybe that's whatever it may be, but this Buff team has shown a lot of improvement over this season, right? Like where they started to where they are now. They would have, if Colorado would have played how they played against Iowa State, those games they lost, those are wins. Those are wins, right? And there's a couple plays against BYU where you recover those 2 fumbles, or even one of them, it flips that game completely upside down. So, but yeah, I think 7-5. That's where I'll go with 6-6. I would say floor 6-6. So I do think they make a bowl game. They do become bowl eligible. And what that looks like, I don't know what bowl that would be. Again, it wouldn't be the Alamo Bowl, right? I think they'd have too many losses, and I hope it's not the Alamo Bowl. They just go there and get killed. So no, the hope's not the Alamo Bowl. But I feel like that's how Colorado. I feel like this is how they're going to finish the season this year. So 7-5, finish on a strong note. Whatever bowl game they go to, maybe the Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice Bowl, which would be cool. He came out in a '64 Impala and gave the trophy out, so that would be kind of cool. But yeah, we'll see where they end up. But I do think the ceiling 7. I mean, the ceiling's obviously going to be 8-4, but the floor I think right now is that 6-6, that 500. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. Drop in the chat what you think the remaining schedule looks like for Colorado, how you think they finish. But it does feel like they turned a corner. They have found an outside corner opposite of DJ McKinney, regardless if RJ Johnson gets back or not. But Isaiah Yates looks fantastic. So he looks sticky in coverage. Excited to see what he brings. And again, the tackles still missing them, but it's not at the rapid rate that they were before. So this team is coming together at the right time, and hopefully they can finish strong. Would love to be here at 8-4, but that's neither here nor there. I don't expect it. That game at Salt Lake City is going to be brutal. That is the toughest game left on the schedule. So as far as like a hostile environment and one where it's like, you know, it can get out of hand early. Again, I don't expect that, but it is one of those that that could be that way. So again, just something to keep your eye on. Again, drop in the chat what you think is going to happen. Now, what I wanted to talk into something on Fridays, we're going to start doing Big 12 schedule, the predictions for the week. So we start, our slate is, let me see, we have 6 games on the docket this week for the Big 12. So we'll start with Arizona at Houston. Now, Arizona goes in as, 1.5. So 2-point favorites. Yeah, this is one. The line opened with Houston. I believe it was at 1.5, the favorites. I think I'm going to, at Houston. Is Connor, I don't know if Connor Wigman's out or not. I'm not sure. Because I know he left. Was that a couple? That was against Texas Tech. So if he's out, I mean, let me see. Now, I wasn't able to check their injury. It does not say if he's out or not. So I don't know. I'm gonna go Houston here. Give me Houston. Close game by 2 points. So I'll go the other way with it. Houston by 2 points in this game. If it was at Arizona, I think I would take the Wildcats, but I'm going to go with Houston here. Yeah, I don't know. I feel good about them. And, Willie Fritz, like we've talked about earlier, he's a hell of a coach. So I'll go Houston here. See what this looks like. So, oh, yeah, good question, G. When do the injury reports come out for teams the day before? They typically come out on Wednesday. So I know for the Buffs they do, it's like Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm not 110% sure. I would guess Wednesday or Thursday for every team, but I am not sure. I know I follow just Colorado like the rest of us do, but I'm not sure. Not sure at all. They would need to come out this week just because of they are Big 12 games. So let me see if I can find this. Houston versus Arizona. I didn't see any kind of injury report or when I was looking up. So there's 12 players. Let me just see here. I just need the screenshot of it. Let me see. So out. Let me see. Because that does change things. I'm with you, G. I'm not giving predictions until seeing injury reports. Okay, so here's this one. Initial the injury report. This is from the 15th, so 2 days ago. Out. No, it looks like Connor Wigman's going to go. Maybe that was a while ago. I don't even remember at this point. Out Trey Smith for Arizona. Wide receiver Landon Kelsey. Now that Stephon Johnson's out though for Houston, wide receiver number 5. He's the believe he's the USC transfer. Questionable wide receiver number 11, Chris Hunter for Arizona. I'll say this. I'll roll with Arizona. I'm going to roll with Arizona by 2 still with Connor Wigman. So let's go with that. Baylor at TCU. Now this one is this one's interesting, right? Baylor. So where are they at in the Big 12 standings? So they are 2-1, and TCU 1-2. This game is played in Fort Worth. Man, TCU did not look. I was expecting more from them when we played them. They didn't look all that great. And again, it might just be because Colorado has athletes everywhere. But how are they 3-point fit? I guess just the home field. I'm going to go with Baylor. So I'm going against this twice. So give me Baylor. I'm going to take Baylor at TCU. So give me Baylor. I got them by a field goal. So the opposite way. So that's where I'll go with. Neo says, do you bet on sports? Sometimes I get into it. Man, I haven't in like probably about a year at this point. It's too hard. It's yeah, I don't know. I used to like to do it, when it first became legal in Colorado and you had all the apps, but I typically lose on it. So yeah, I just not really. And if I would ever do it, it's not a ton of money. I'll post every year. I put a wager on my NFL team to win the Super Bowl, which never happens. And if they would win the Super Bowl, it'd be like 10 $20,000 because it's just not going to happen for them. But yeah, no, not an every week better. Just it's just not for me. I guess some people really like it. I never hit big, so says, okay, yeah, I used to bet on sports when it was illegal. I stopped because I didn't enjoy the games anymore. Yeah, it does make it tough, and then losing money sucks, right? And typically you lose, but yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, no betting on sports for me. West Virginia at UCF, 8-point favorite, so 7.5, -7.5. Yeah, UCF here. Give me UCF by a touchdown. So that's what I'll take. Again, I don't really like picking spreads, that kind of thing, but I'd say UCF by a touchdown. Yeah, West Virginia is just not a good football team this year. Them and Oklahoma State have looked rough. Wish we could have Oklahoma State on the schedule this year instead of going to Utah. But, the Buffs, they have played a rough schedule so far. They have played, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 8 teams in the Big 12 so far this year. So as far as this on the schedule and the remaining schedule. Texas Tech at ASU, so 7-point touchdowns for Texas Tech. I got Tech here by at least 10. I'm a huge believer in what they're doing down there. They are that defensive front for Tech is just, gosh, they're good. So they're going to cause havoc. Again, Sam Levitt, I don't know the injury report there, so that is one that we should probably look up. Let me see. I need to get that injury report. Let's see here. Sam Levitt is probable, trending to play. I still don't think it matters, though. I think Texas Tech's going to get after him, and it's going to get I got them by at least 10. I think Texas Tech is I think they're going to get in and win a playoff game. They should end up with the first round bye. They are a very good football team. Neo says, I like picking spreads. This is cool. What is the spread in Colorado next game, or is it not out yet? Not out yet. Not out yet. They typically will go like on Sunday. NFL games, I know, depends on when you play, but if you say your game is done on Sunday, both teams, they'll start with the spread. The earliest I've seen them was like on Sunday morning, somewhere around there. I've never seen them right after a game. Picking this, they are interesting. So typically we will see after the, there's probably one future one that you could probably, let me see, versus Utah spread. Let me see your odds I should have put. Let's see. Let me see. No, it doesn't look like there's any spread. There's a predicted score out from, what is it, some other website, but there's no actual spread right now is what it looks like. So I would expect Colorado to go in as like 10-point underdog. So I would say 10.5, somewhere like that. Let's go 9.5 to 10.5 is where I would see that spread landing, somewhere in between there. Why is Tech always down there? Are people not catching on yet? No, they're the favorites here. So that negative, I know sports betting is weird. I remember the first time I saw it, they're actually favored by a touchdown here. The negative means that they are the favorites in this game, which is, I don't know why they do it that way. It always confused me, but they are the favorite here by a touchdown. Yeah, I got them by 10, though. 10 points here minimum. I think ASU is they're in for a nasty awakening. The Texas Tech is good. So let's see. Our next one, Cincinnati at Oklahoma State. Geez, 24 points. Man, Oklahoma State's awful. Did you guys see this past weekend? There was that cool section where they're at the game. Guy takes his shirt off, just starts waving it, and then tons of people start going and filling that section at the game with their shirts off, waving them over their head. I thought that was it was so cool. Someone said, like, well, at least they're having fun, because this is it's not fun watching the football team. So I thought that was really cool. I guess since Cincinnati I'll give them by 3 touchdowns. So 21 points. I'll take Cincinnati by 24 points. That's a lot of points. Holy cow. And again, I have not watched the Oklahoma State game this year. That just seems like a lot at Oklahoma State. I know they're not very good. But yeah, Cincinnati, 3 touchdowns. I don't know if they go over that. So maybe they do 38-3, 31-3, something like that. I don't know. But I'm taking Cincinnati there. Utah at BYU. That's kind of, was it the Holy War? I saw some old video a couple weeks earlier in the week. It was a BYU fan got out there trying to help. Like he's on the field for some reason, and the Utah cheerleader, male cheerleader, tackles him because he tries to help him up and starts like punching him. So don't know what that was about. I just thought it was kind of ridiculous. It was pretty ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with I got BYU is weird though. They play this weird game. They play to the competition. I'll go with Utah by field goal. I'll take them over BYU. I would not be shocked though if BYU pulls that off. So give me Utah by 3. Yeah, I know it is. Couple seconds. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's tricky. Sports betting is when I was a kid, I first saw that. I don't even know which my NFL team was favorites against someone. I was like, why, with the plus next to it, I was like, this is bizarre. Like, why are they? And then I figured out sports betting, the negative is who's favored actually. Chad says, did Oklahoma State fire their coach? Yeah, Gundy was fired a couple weeks ago at this point. Yeah, kind of. It feels like one of those coaches that the NIL era is not for him. Never is going to be, because Oklahoma State, man, they have money and they typically are good. These last 2 years have been ugly for them though. So again, never been to Stillwater. I don't know if I would ever want to go to Stillwater or play anywhere in Oklahoma. But again, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough right now for Oklahoma State. Yeah, Neo says rivalry games are tricky. They really are. Like I am. They can go either way. Like I really don't know which way to go there, because is BYU like amped up, and Provo is going to be rocking. That place is going to be loud. And is that what time is that kickoff? I thought I saw that's the late kickoff, right? If anybody. Let me see. I believe it's a 8:15 kickoff tomorrow night, which sucks because I want to watch it. They got to stop doing that. But, yeah, 8 p.m. kickoff, Utah. Yeah, so it's the late one. Chad says, yeah, they got a ton of oil money. I did not know that about Oklahoma State and Stillwater. I have flown over Oklahoma, driven through that area, kind of through the area. Never been in Oklahoma, so don't know a lot about it. It just seems like there's not a lot going on there. So I don't know. So I just think they're going to struggle in this area right now. Recruiting players to go to Stillwater, right? It's tough to get them to go to those tough places unless you have money like Texas Tech, where Tech has that Matador Club, that oil money, and they get people to go to Lubbock again, which is good for them, right? So yeah, let's see. Yeah, 8 o'clock kickoff game. It's probably that 8:15 though. It says on the Big 12 sports.com, it's saying 8 or 7 p.m. Central Time. So, or is that 6 p.m. here? Man, now see, this is 6 p.m. because they're an hour ahead. Yeah, 6 p.m. kickoff, even better. So, yeah, I'll watch that one at 6. Love watching Big 12 football. So, yeah, so give me that. Give me Utah. Give me Utah by field goal this weekend. Chad says Stillwater is a small town. Yeah, because Boulder's not huge, but it's like it's really close to Denver, like 15, 20 minutes from downtown Denver, depending on the traffic, but it's not very far. Like it's you don't want to call it a suburb of Denver, but it's all right there. You can see the Flatirons from downtown Denver. Like you got to be up higher, obviously, but it is pretty close. So I don't know where Stillwater is. I don't know if it's close to Oklahoma City. I think Norman's closer to Oklahoma City. I don't know a ton about the whole layout of Oklahoma. Never been. I mean, it's the state, right? One of the states right next to Colorado. I should probably have gone there, but just kind of had no reason to go there. So, yeah, interesting. I'm going to have to do some geography lessons about Stillwater. and what is going on there, and learn a little bit about that football program and their NIL situation, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, there it is for the week. I think Buffs much needed bye week. I know there is that worry a little bit about getting rusty when things are rolling, but I do think this bye comes at a perfect time. I do think that the Buffs are going to rebound, get this season turned around, headed in the correct direction, and be ready to roll next year. It seems like they figured some things out with Caden. Caden's figured out what is needed from him on and off the field. So this team looks like they're starting to rally a little bit. Prime is starting to play the guys that want to be there. And again, that portal, because we had, who was it? Noah King. Was it Noah King that left the team last week? But apparently there's more. Was it Noah King? Who was it? Let me just double check. I don't want to say the wrong name here. Well, that'd be cool if I spelled his name right. Let me see. Was it Noah King? I don't remember. So it wasn't Noah King? No, it wasn't Noah King. I can't remember who it was. No, it was 3-star from Auburn. That one. It wasn't Noah King. It was safety. Is it Love? I don't remember. But it sounds like there's going to be more to go, because I would be bummed I would have been a lot more bummed if it was Noah King. Noah King is fantastic, man. I'm really excited for that kid. Freshman, one of those guys that can grow with this young class that looks phenomenal right now. So how's Deion's health? I haven't kept up. I haven't heard anything, and again, I don't know how much we're going to hear about from Prime, because he doesn't say a lot. I'm shocked that he said he was going to have a procedure on, after the game against TCU, that he thought that he had blood clots and let people in on that, because normally he doesn't say anything. So I think even if there is something going on, he's not gonna have a lot to say about it. But hopefully he's doing well. Hopefully all these problems are behind him, and man, he can just get back to living life, coaching this team, and doing what he needs to do, being a father, leader of young men. So it is, so hopefully all this is behind him at this point. Yeah. Nia says, it's odd he's dating that young girl, could be his daughter. I don't even know who he's dating, to be honest with you. I mean, I know, there's Bill Belichick, but that one's so blown up. I don't even know her name at this point. I'm so bad at this, like this kind of stuff, like celebrities and stuff. My wife and I will go through, she'll be like, this person. And I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And then she'll have to say something like, oh, the person who played so-and-so in Superman. I'm like, oh, that, and say their name. But I am horrifically bad at celebrity stuff. So I don't even know who his girlfriend is or who he's dating. So I'm not the best to ask questions about that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know enough. I'll have to look into it to have a comment on that. And part of me just, and I don't mean this wrongly, I really don't care about that kind of stuff. So maybe that's kind of stuff sells. Maybe that's the kind of stuff we should be talking about on here. But it ain't for me though, Dio. Yeah, I know, man. I'm out of the loop on that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, enjoy the weekend. It feels, it sucks, right? Bye weeks always suck, especially in college, because there's 2, but the bye week's tough. It feels like that they haven't played in forever. It is what it is though, but it came at the right time. This came at the right time. This team needs to get healthy. They need to get better. And coming off a big win, and getting ready to go to Utah again. This is the toughest game on the schedule this year. This is one that I looked at early. Last year I was like, gosh, this looks like it sucks. So this is a rough game. So Humble Texan says, oh yeah, but she don't seem crazy like Billy's lady. Yeah, that's hard though, because on X it's always on my timeline, and I'm like, I should know her name, but that stuff's wild. What's going on there? I read this report. Was it last week that he's gonna get fired or quit or something? That they're drawing something up. The university for the buyout, all kinds of things. So it isn't working right now. So there is that, right? And you start to sit there and think how much of this was Tom Brady, right? Or Bill Belichick, right? So it is a weird balancing thing. He hasn't done a lot without Tom Brady. So as we all know, right? In Cleveland and in New England after Brady left for Tampa, where Tom Brady goes and wins the Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick, they do get in with Mac Jones, but it looked rough. It looked rough though. So yes, Neo says, yeah, she's chill. Yeah, I don't know who she is, don't know much about her, but I hope they're happy. Cool. Right on. Hope they're happy. Yeah, I'm really bad with this kind of stuff, guys. But yeah, enjoy the weekend. Tons of Big 12 with the six games on the slate tomorrow. I was trying to figure out rooting interest and this and that. I don't even know if that's I was going to bring that, but it's too much going on there. So we got, let me see here. Oh yeah. G says a number of my teams have a bye this week. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Just the Buffs for me. Yeah, the other two do not have one that I have a rooting interest. One college, one NFL. None of them are on a bye this week. So I'm good with that. I think it's next week, the bye for one of my other teams. So I'm getting hit with buys these next couple weeks. So which is okay though. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are fantastic. Again, without you guys, there's no show. Always do appreciate you guys. There's that link up there for rebet. So again, make sure if that's something you guys are into, you get 100% purchase match up to $100, or use the code VOCFBCU. Again, if you or somebody let me pull this up, has a gambling problem. Let me find it. Well, now I can't find it, guys. If you or somebody has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, 1-800-GAMBLER. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys. Again, make sure to follow on X at Manny_303. Make sure to IG 303_Manny. Again, if you guys subscribe, if you guys absolutely appreciate you guys. Yep. YouTube bro, have a nice weekend. Miami looks like upset in the making right now. Uh-oh. Yeah, let's go Dodgers. Yeah, that's my team. That's my baseball team. So yeah, let's go Dodgers. Get that done. That's why I moved the show up 30 minutes, by the way. So wanted to make sure I didn't miss first pitch. Yep. And G, thank you. Really appreciate you guys for being on here. As always, though, appreciate you guys. Like Heisman Trophy winning Travis Hunter said, Skull Buffs, baby. All right, guys. Catch you on Monday. See ya.